Hello, folks. How is everybody doing out there? I hope everybody is doing well wherever you're at in this beautiful world. I've been asked to do a budget video. A lot of people want to know, hey, what's your budget? Let me set things up for you, though. About a year ago, in June coming up, it'll be a year that we have moved from the city. We were up in Luzon, in a big city up in Luzon, and our budget was completely different than where we are now in the province. We're in the province on an island called Siargao Island. It's a tourist island. However, we do not live in the tourist part of the island. We're outside the tourist part of the island. Small island. Um, However, let me break this all down for you. Yes, we have a house. We have a house outside the Dapa area. Then we rent an apartment in General Luna, which is your touristy area. So I'm going to give you a breakdown of everything from our house here. Well, it's going to be combined. It's going to be combined with our house here and our little apartment that we have up in General Luna, Siargao Island. Like I said, people asked, big difference living in a city compared to living in a province. Once again, it all depends on a person's lifestyle. What is their lifestyle? What do they require? What do they need? What do they have to have? Do they require malls? Do they require modern restaurants? Do they require shopping centers, S&R, landers? Do they have to have everything at their fingertips? You know, it's everybody's lifestyle. But I'm only going to share ours. And when I talk about ours, right now where we live here, it's a homestead. I call it a homestead. There's an average of 17 family members, my wife's family members that live here. Not in the house, but on the 215 homestead, I call it. All right, they all live in other little shacks, houses outside the main house, which we live in. I am not, nor do am I don't, nor do I provide them with their living needs. Not my job, not my responsibilities. They all take care of each other. They work, they take care of their families, they take care of their kids. Not my job, not my responsibility. So when I give you this breakdown, my responsibilities, myself, my wife, our daughter Hannah Grace, and my wife's niece, Bing Bing. Niece. Yes. Niece? Cousin? I can't figure it out. Four of us. It's four of us that I am responsible, and that's what this budget is based on. So, we are looking at 55 pesos on the US dollar right now. Last time I went to the bank, it was 55 pesos on the US dollar. The peso rate is going down. It was 59. I've been here going on almost 10 years. The lowest I seen it was 48. I see anything above 50 pesos is a good day, right? So this is based on 55 pesos on the US dollar. Let's start with rent. Rent can be a big chunk of your money, or it can be a small chunk of your money. It all depends on your lifestyle. Rent in the house where we live in right now, zero. I pay 0 pesos per month. Not a penny. Not a penny. Our little studio apartment we have over in General Luna, just a small little room, bed, little tiny little kitchen, bathroom in there. Nothing big. Outside wet kitchen. Um, we pay monthly 10,000 pesos per month on that. Monthly. We didn't have to have upfront money, 1 month security, 2 months, 3 months security, water deposit, none of that. It was 10,000 up front. That averaged out to $181.81. Electric. Now electric can be very expensive depending on where you live. Our electric bill here in our house, the last bill we spent was 4,900 and some. I just rounded it up to 5,000 pesos. What do we have running on electric? Not a lot, one refrigerator. I got one air conditioner in my room. No other air conditioners in this house. I have a water pump that pumps water from the well up to our holding tank. I have a microwave that I rarely use. Starlink internet. I use that on the electric. My computer setups, my lights, just your average plugins, to charge phones, to charge cell phones, to charge computers, little things like that. One TV. Um, Trying to think. That's really about it. Like I said, I want to give you everything that we're using for electric at our place here. Um, we have no electric stove, so we're not using that. Um, but that's about sums it up. Fans, a few fans here and there that are running, but that's all it runs in electric. Over at our apartment, our little studio apartment in General Luna, we spend 1,500 pesos. Once again, small studio. What do you got? Lights, a couple plug-ins. I have a TV over there. We have an air conditioner over there. But 1,500 pesos is $27.27. That's electric. Like I said, depends on where you live. Electric can be very, very expensive. When we first got here, our first month bill was 1,500, give or take. But then I started adding on. You know what I mean? So the bill went up. Food can be expensive also. Like I said, this is for four of us. We spend an average, give or take, of 25,000 pesos per month. That's $454.54. Now, I don't eat Filipino food. I do and I don't. Like, I can't sit down and eat rice, sardines, and like vegetables for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Not my thing. I'll eat pork chops. I'll eat chicken fingers. I'll eat chicken wings. Um, I'm not a rice guy. I don't eat rice. I will eat potatoes. I'm a potato guy. I'm from Pennsylvania. Meat and potatoes. I'll eat French fries. You see what I'm saying? I am fussy and picky when it comes to my food. Like I said, can I eat Filipino food? Sure, I can. I don't mind it at all. But that is what we spend on food. Um, what else do we have here? Hannah Grace, our daughter. She's not with us. She's with us now, but she does her schooling up in Luzon. It's not free for her to stay there. She stays with people we know that we trust, that she has known for years. We send her, this is an average, 18,000 pesos a month. $327.27. That covers her food to help pitch in for food, whatever travel expenses she may have to go from where she lives to school, back and forth, a little bit of spending money. If a project comes up at school, she might need money for that. So that's what she gets. All right, sorry about that. Should have checked my battery. Uh, what's next? Water. Our water bill. What do we spend in water? We don't spend nothing on water. We have the well out back that pumps up into our holding tank here. So we don't spend money at all. Some places you go in the city, you're going to pay for that city water, and it's usually not very expensive. Once again, it depends on how much you use. Over at our apartment in General Luna, we don't have a water bill either. He just didn't require it. I think he has a holding tank and everything there. And of course, we pay in the electric. We pay our portion of the electric for the pump and everything like that. But we have no water bill. Moving on. Lutz mom. We give her 5,000 pesos a month. What does she do with that? She buys like coffee. I mean, she buys things for the house also. Coffee, sugar, laundry detergent, laundry soap. I mean, she does all our laundry. We don't do our laundry. If we go out and my wife says, hey, I want to do laundry. Nope, Ma, get out of here. Get out of here. Ma handles all that. So it buys little things like that. plus little things for herself. So we give her 5,000 pesos a month. What does that add up to? Jesus, what does that add up to? I didn't even do the calculation on it. Little under 100, little over 100 pesos, 100 US dollars. Um, Insurance, health insurance, car insurance, well, no motorcycle insurance. I don't really figure that in. I have health insurance that gets deducted straight out of my pay every month. Couldn't tell you what it is. I don't even look at it. It just comes out before I even get my chunk of pay. So I don't have to turn around. I don't have to write a check to anybody. I don't have to transfer money. When it comes to the motorcycle, you pay that once a year. So I don't even figure that in. You know what I'm saying? It's so small when it comes to the motorcycle insurance. I didn't figure that in. But if you have a car, it's the same thing. So yeah, propane. I'm not even going to figure that in. We have a propane gas stove here, a 4 burner propane gas stove, nice big oven. You could stick a turkey in it. We don't use it. They don't use it. They cook on fire here. Everything they cook, every meal they cook, they build a fire. They cook outside. Um, Over at our apartment in General Luna, we have a 2 burner propane stove over there. But God, we haven't cooked over there. We're always eating out. But propane can be very expensive. I think our tank to fill it is like 2,800 pesos. But like I said, I, I bought it about a year ago and we haven't even gone through a tank for the simple reason we just don't use it. Um, it is what it is, right? Starlink, my Starlink internet. That's what I have here. I have no cable TV. I don't pay a cable bill. I use Starlink. I have Fire Stick. I have apps on my Fire Stick. I watch movies. I watch TV shows. I watch sports shows. I watch everything with my Starlink and my Fire Stick that I have with that I connect to my TV to watch. Starlink monthly 2,700 pesos. Now that's your basic package. 2,700 pesos or $49.09. Gotta have internet. Um, if I had PLDT landline, I don't even think I would go with that because on this island PLDT works and then it don't work. Over at our apartment in General Luna, we have free internet. Landlord just lets us use his internet, which is PLDT. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. So we don't even pay for that over there. Um, Eating out. Guys, this is where it gets me. Eating out. 20,000 pesos we allot for eating out. When we go to General Luna, we eat out. There's a lot of good restaurants over there. We got a lot of good places to eat. I have found good hamburgers over there, good steaks over there, good shawarmas over there, good breakfast places over there, good pastry places over there. And there's so many. We're always trying out different things. I have found good Italian food over there, good sushi over there. We eat out. Now, my wife, she might go down the road and get a little bit of food from the calendaria for breakfast, but I eat out. I'm over there. That's our luxury of being over there. Eating good food, spending the money, and we do. We do spend the money over there. Could I cut it down? Of course I could cut that down and cook at home. But my wife cooks all the meals here at the house. That's, I guess, you could say her chore. She cooks the meal. Everybody else does dishes. Everybody else cleans the tables off. Everybody else collects firewood. Everybody has a chore here. Even I have a chore. I don't know what it is, but I have a chore. So we eat out, you know. One thing we do, we eat out. Um, Now we're going to go to miscellaneous. What do I mean by miscellaneous? Like gas for the motorbike, gas for the trike, um, entrance fees, different things. If we decide we are going to um, go island hopping, if we decide we're going to go to the cold spring, if we're going to go to a waterfall, If we're, you know what I'm saying, we're a touristy things where you need to pay to do, that falls under miscellaneous. Another thing that falls under miscellaneous is like different things. Like last month, I bought a flight for Hannah Grace to come down here. That falls under miscellaneous. This month, we spent the money to build the trike, to get the trike back up and running. That falls under miscellaneous. If next month we plan to start buying more things to, add on to the house here, that all falls under miscellaneous. Things like that. If Lit wants to, get a new shirt, new pants, buy one some clothes, loads, putting loads on her phone, sending Hannah some loads for her phone, things like that. That falls under miscellaneous, like Bing Bing. If Bing wants to go to the store and get a couple snacks, if she needs clothes, she needs something for school, that all falls under miscellaneous. Birthdays, with this many people being here, somebody's having a birthday, right? And it's like these kids have never experienced like a birthday party with cake and singing and food. And say last month we went down to the one swimming hole and we hung out there all day. You know, those are things that fall under miscellaneous. And it's nice to see the smile on their faces, experiencing something they never experience. Birthday tends just to be a birthday in the province for the kids. Nothing big, nothing exciting, but we always make it like an event. Say if we have, like next month, we have Fiesta, so we'll wind up buying a pig for Fiesta. Um, that's what miscellaneous comes under. Um, but anyways, what is the total, the grand total? If there's anything, also, if there's anything you could think of, say, hey, what about this? What about this? Leave the comment below. Leave a comment below. I could be missing a few things. Um, Grand total 102,200 pesos. Remember, $55 straight on the US dollar. It comes to $1,858.18 is what we spend on an average. Sometimes we spend over. Sometimes we might spend a little bit under. It all depends on the month and what arises and what occurs. But that is our average. And like I said, it all depends on you. What type of lifestyle do you want to live in the Philippines? Do you have to live in a city? Do you mind living in a province? Um, what do you have to have? The best of everything. Do you have to keep up with the Joneses? I guess is the best way to describe it. I don't, and I never did have to keep up with the Joneses. Not my thing. Not my thing. If my neighbor gets a new car, I got to get a new car. Not my thing. Um, I'm happy with what we have. You got to be content with what you have. If you live in a lifestyle wherever you come from, and you got to have the best of everything, the newest clothes, the newest phones, the newest this, the newest that. Well, you got to figure that in. Yes, things are cheaper here in the Philippines, but you can go over your budget um, easily. Also, always have a guaranteed income. Retirement, something that is a guaranteed income. Don't come to the Philippines and think you're going to be the next biggest YouTube star out there, and maybe you will, maybe you won't. Um, but guarantee yourself a monthly guaranteed income. I heard somebody say, and I'll wrap it up with this. I heard somebody say, I make 4,000 US dollars a month. That is my income in the Philippines. And he says, I'm broke all the time. I'm broke. I'm broke. I'm broke at the end of the month. If you can't live on 4,000 a month in the Philippines, you're living an extravagant lifestyle here. I would say you're eating out every day. You're drinking, you're smoking, you're traveling, you're spending money on women. Um, easily can be done on 4,000. Some people can do it under 1,000. It all depends on your lifestyle. That's what it boils down to. So there it is. Like I said, leave your comments below. Let me know what you're living on, where you're living, how much you're living on. I tried to put everything I can think of. Some people will put out videos, but they don't put in everything that they do. They'll put in just the basics. I try to give you the real thing. Um, that's just me. So, anyways, guys, hope this is helpful for those that want to know, that are looking at a budget to move here, and leave the comments below. Let me know what you think, and we'll talk to you later.